It is time for another edition of Cooking with Cal, and this time my little chef and I are making my grandmother's tried and true potato salad.
Hot mayo.
It's another edition of Cooking with Cal. What are we making today?
Potato salad.
Potato salad. So this potato salad was my grandmother's potato salad recipe. It's very, very basic. There's nothing fancy in it. It's literally just potatoes, eggs, scallions, some celery, and some mayonnaise. But we top it off with this. Do you know what this is?
What?
This is called paprika. Everybody has their own technique for hard boiling eggs. Here's how we do it. So let's gently put these in the pot. 5. Let's hard boil 5 eggs, okay? So we've got the eggs in the pot. We're going to fill this up with water, okay?
Hello.
We're going to put them on the stove, bring it to a boil, and as soon as it boils, we're going to cover it and then turn off the heat and let it sit for 20 minutes. Okay, so while the eggs are cooking, let's cut up our potatoes. All right, let's throw these in the pot. Yes. Add some cold water and then some salt. Okay, we're going to turn this off. We're going to cover it. And we're going to wait 20 minutes. That's the worst thing you heard all day, huh? While we're waiting for the eggs and potatoes, I'm going to chop some scallions. You want me to chop and you eat your apple?
Yes.
How's your apple? It's got a nice little crunch to the potato salad. All right, it's been 20 minutes. Should we get the eggs? All right, I'm gonna rinse them under some cold water.
You want to eat?
So. Yeah. Oh, good job. No. What's missing from our potato salad?
Potatoes.
All right, these are piping hot, okay?
Can I cut them?
Because potatoes are dry and don't have a lot of flavor, we're gonna add a lot of salt, a lot of pepper, and we're gonna add a lot of mayonnaise. Now this is controversial because some people don't think you should add cold mayonnaise to a hot dish. I find that the warm potatoes absorb all of the yummy mayonnaise as opposed to getting all dried out. So I'm not going to wait for them to cool. I'm just going to add it all now while it's still warm. And then I'm going to put it all in the fridge. 1, 2, 3, 2. And this is the sprinkle that my mom always used to do.
Kaboom, I put it in my mouth.
You love it? For these recipes and more, head to today.com/bye-bye. So
He had to run off after eating the hot mayo.
yeah, he always does. So you don't like hot mayo, you don't like celery, so this is not the recipe for you.
No.
And you like a mustardy-based potato salad.
Well, yours look great, Dylan. Look,
It's
look great.
fantastic.
Look
I
awesome.
don't like relish or mustard. I like a very basic potato salad. So it's old-fashioned and it's...
I like Cal, so whatever
Yeah,
he
Cal's
makes.
the man.
Cal likes it, so win for me.
Welcome back. It is Make Ahead Monday. We're talking taters. Here with her mashup on the classic mashed potato is Chef Kristen Kish from True TV's Fast Foodies. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We are doing great. Hope you are too. So on Fast Foodies, you recreate iconic fast food meals. And of course, potatoes usually a key player. And you're going to help us mash them. What potato do you like for this recipe?
That is a perfect question. So for me, I do like a mix of like 50-50 russet to Yukon. So you have the starch, you have the waxiness. I love the texture. And so you kind of can work it and it will never really overwork into kind of turning into glue. So it's a nice little cheat
That sounds good. And then you add a special ingredient, if you will, cream cheese. What does that add to the dish?
I love cream cheese on anything. You could put cream cheese on my breakfast waffle and I'll be very happy. So I love cream cheese. If you don't like cream cheese, leave it out. Otherwise, sour cream, buttermilk, anything with a tang, I feel like is really interesting, and mashed potatoes that are quite rich.
Yum.
So how do we make this?
So we're going to take our basic mashed potatoes. If you want to use box mashed potatoes, if you want to use fresh and then you turn it into something else, that's totally fine. But my classic mashed potatoes, I add a little bit of corn, a lot of bit of cheese, actually. We add some fresh thyme, some fresh rosemary, caramelized onions, garlic powder, onion powder, and flour. So I kind of took the idea of what I love most about fried chicken and those flavors, onion, garlic, thyme, and threw it all into mashed potatoes. And then I added the corn because for this particular challenge that we were doing on Fast Foodies, it was all about a bucket of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn. So you kind of mix that all up together. And the best thing about it being Make Ahead Monday is the fact that you can make these ahead. So I take these little pucks, I form them, throw them in the freezer, and it's basically, no different than pulling out a frozen bag of tater tots. So when you're ready to eat them, you just kind of can throw them in the fryer. And the 3-step breading process we like to do is, so you take your mix, and we use flour, egg, and panko. So you can really form them into whatever shape you want. So the idea is you kind of drop it in the flour, and the flour allows the egg to stick.
Is there seasoning in the flour?
Exactly. So all seasoning, salt and pepper in all 3 areas. So you're seasoning as you go.
So you're
once you
double
bread
dredging
it,
this.
it's kind of, the flour's there to help the egg stick, and then the egg is there to help the panko stick. So you could keep double dredging back and forth if you wanted to like a really thick crust. And then from there, you end up with basically like these beautiful little breaded croquettes. So not only can you freeze them this way, you can freeze them with the breading already on them. And then I know a lot of people are scared to fry at home. It doesn't have to be that scary. So long as your oil never reaches like the smoking point, 350 is that sweet spot, it's perfect. And if, you don't want to deep fry, I hear the air fryer is quite popular these days.
What kind of oil do you use?
I use grapeseed oil. So grapeseed oil has a higher smoking point. So you don't want to use something like olive oil. It'll burn. And when oil burns, it kind of becomes a little bit bitter and rancid. So grapeseed oil or vegetable oil, corn oil, whatever you prefer.
Kristen, you said something earlier that I thought was kind of interesting. You said you can overwork the potato so that it gets tough?
So when you just similar to how you overwork anything with a flour, like cakes and beautiful, delicate pastries, a potato can overwork itself into basically wallpaper paste, for lack of a better term. And so if you want to throw your potatoes into a blender and try to make potato puree that way, I would recommend not doing that. You're going to end up with a glue stick, we'll say.
Oh, well, this is kind of cool because Chanel's kids don't like mashed potatoes, so
I think they would do this. Yeah, and they like
I have
salmon
so
croquette.
many mashed potatoes left over from Easter that
we're going to try it.
Yeah.
Kristen, thank you. Kristen, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. For these recipes, head to today.com/food.
And we're back with Today Food. This morning, we're joined by New York Times food columnist and best-selling cookbook author Melissa Clark.
She is here to show us the joys of the latest online trend, sheet pan cooking. Home chefs creating complete and diverse meals using just one pan.
And we're so excited for Melissa to show us 2 fabulous sheet pan dinners. Hi, Melissa. Good morning. So sheet pans
Hi, guys. How are you?
having a moment, huh?
Sheet pans are having a moment. Sheet pans are great because they're so easy and they're so versatile. Anything that you want to cook, you can do it on a sheet pan, and it just comes out great. And I have 2 amazing recipes to show you today.
All right. What are we starting out with, Melissa? What's our first one?
So first one is harissa chicken. So harissa is a North African spice paste, and I've got chicken and potatoes. It's got arugula. It's got yogurt on top. It bakes up brown and gorgeous. And you know what? The whole thing is ready in under an hour. You can make it for dinner tonight. So I'm going to start with my harissa paste. And if you can't find harissa, you can use any chili paste. You just want something with a little kick. And I'm going to mix in some salt and pepper. And okay, I've got ground cumin here, and you can also use ground coriander, anything for a little bit of spice. I'm going to stir that together, and I'm going to make a little marinade for my chicken. And put that right on the chicken. in a perfect world, you would do this maybe an hour or two before you want to make dinner, but honestly, if you do it right before, it's fine.
Hey, Melissa,
That's the beauty of a sheet pan dinner.
is that chicken boneless and skinless, or is it just chop up the whole chicken?
I use a whole chicken. Actually, you know what I use is chicken legs. So they're bone-in, skin-on, because personally, I love that crispy skin. But if you wanted to do it with boneless, skinless, whole breasts, that would work too. You just want to reduce the cooking time so that they don't get dried out. All right, so I'm spreading this paste all over my beautiful chicken, and I'm going to add some olive oil, and that's going to help crisp the skin. And I've got my potatoes. So these are just baby potatoes, and I just cut them up into quarters. Put them there. Stir that around, and
really
it goes right.
That's easy.
That's easy.
It's so easy. This is like one of those, you know what, the easy recipes are the ones where you can do it with one pan and one bowl. That is what I love, because then there's not a lot of fun. Okay, so you want to spread that out. And okay, here's the thing about any sheet pan chicken dish, or any sheet pan dish at all, actually. You want to make sure there's lots of room on the sheet pan, and I'm going to show you, so that stuff can get crispy. If you squish it all up in the center, then it's going to steam and it's not going to brown. So here,
Did you put like, is that just a non-stick, or did you put parchment paper or something under there, or what's under there?
You can use parchment. I didn't put anything on because there's oil on the chicken.
Oh,
so
okay.
You don't even need it. And I'm just going to put this in the oven. It's going to be 425 for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
So I have leeks here, and another thing about a sheet pan recipe is you want to add the ingredients in stages so they all cook perfectly. So I have some leeks, and I have some lemon. These are just sliced up leeks. You could also use onion. I've got some lemon zest, a little olive oil, and after the chicken has cooked for 15 minutes, that's when I'm going to add these to the pan. I'm going to sprinkle them on top, and then they're going to turn brown when the chicken is ready. And let me show you what that looks like, because it is gorgeous. So here's the big reveal. That's chicken, and you see it.
Perfect.
So you see how the leeks are just perfect? They're nice and tender. The chicken is brown. The potatoes are crispy.
Skin on.
And that's it. Then you just want to garnish it with some arugula.
Love.
And some yogurt.
Perfect.
No wonder
And
this
I
is a
put a
trend.
little
It's
garlic
delicious.
in the yogurt.
So good.
All right, let me show you.
Awesome.
Melissa, thank you
Melissa,
so much.
thank you so much. That looks awesome.
By the way, you can find more sheet pan recipes in the cooking section of this Sunday's New York Times. And for even more, go to today.com/food.